Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And in this episode here, we're going to take this John Deere 316 tractor and we're going to swap it with a small 2-cylinder diesel Kubota engine. It's got a 18 horsepower onan, I believe, right now, but we're going to yank that baby out of there and put that little 2-cylinder Kubota diesel in it. Alright guys, so this is the little Kubota engine, this mower here. It's a Kubota T1600. It's going to be our little donor mower or donor engine, whatever you'd like to call it. I don't know, but anyway, I picked this mower up a few months ago for like $300, so wasn't too bad. I had to drive about 2 hours to go pick it up, but the motor runs really good, but the mower is rough shape. It's sat for a long time. It needs all new tires, and I think somebody hit something with the motor deck, but we're not going to go into all those details. You can go watch the other video if you want on my channel of me getting this thing running. So without further ado, I think we'll go ahead and start tearing one of these mowers down. Either one. I don't know which one I'll start on. Probably the John Deere. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. Alrighty folks, so I think the first thing I'm going to get started on here is get this hood out of my way. So, I mean, it's broke anyway, so it's probably junk. So I'm just going to set it to the side for now, but we're going to see if we can get this mower running. But eventually, I will probably buy a new hood if I get that little diesel motor in here running. So we'll start by taking the hood off, and we'll start taking some of this other junk off, try to get it out of our way. And you got to stick around. You might learn something too with me, because I don't really know what I'm doing either. So we're just going to start tearing stuff apart. All right, got all the bolts loose there. And there's our hood, folks. Be a shop ornament, because it's broke. Now I suppose the next thing we'll get here is the front grille. Looks like she takes a couple a Phillips screwdriver here, so 2 screws in it. Alright, after a few moments of wiggling around here, I finally got it. It just slides over the exhaust and pops right out, but there's our grille. She seems to be in good shape. She's a good girl. Well, I think next we're going to take this piece off here that holds the hood on and holds the grille kind of in place there. Looks like it's got 2 bolts here. I hope that's it. I'm not really sure. Maybe I think it's got 4 actually. 4 bolts. Yes, sir. We need a deep welly for that one there. That was a 1/2 inch, so maybe the bottom bolts there are 1/2 inch too. Sure are, huh? Anywho, there's our front grille and our hood holder right there. We'll put that to the side here. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this front plate off here. I'm not real sure what this is. I think it's just kind of like a guard / trim piece for the front pulleys here. There's our front little belt guard thing there is what I'm going to call that. Looks like she's seen better days, but we'll just go ahead and set this to the side as well. Alright folks, so now we're going to go ahead and get started on taking this motor off of here. I have to take this air filter off so I can get to some of the cables, or the choke cable I believe it is. Alright folks, I think I got this engine ready to come out of here. I got the belt off, I got all the wires off I think, and the throttle and the choke cable. And I got all the engine mounting bolts out too. There's 4 of those on the bottom. I spared you guys from filming those because it was just a lot of me crawling on the floor. I had a heck of a time getting them, but let's see if I can pull this thing out of here now. I need some help, guys. All right. I think I can get it though. I think we got it. Maybe not. Oh, I see here. I'm catching on the belt. All right. Catching on the belt and tripping over tools. Still hung up on something. Aha, I see it right there. You guys hold on to the engine while I get this wire here loose. Alrighty, folks. I think we got it now. Oh yeah. Maybe not. Still caught on something. Oh, what am I catching on now? There we go. Now I think we got it. Take 4. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. That motor right there was a little bit heavy. There she is, right there on the floor. There's a drive shaft. I still gotta take that thing off there, but here's the John Deere with the motor out of it. I'll tell you, folks. I think I'm gonna wrap that up for tonight. For me, this will be day 1. We got the engine out of the John Deere, so we'll get started on that Kubota there tomorrow, which will be right now for you guys. All right, guys, and just like that is the next day, and today we're going to be going ahead and taking the seat and the fenders off of the John Deere, so that way I can kind of see the drive shaft and everything when we're putting the new motor back in it, so I can connect it a little bit easier. And then we're going to start tearing apart the Kubota and hopefully get the motor off of it. Go ahead and put the seat to the side. Eventually, I'm probably going to end up getting a new seat anyway whenever I get this running, because I don't think that's, or I know that that's not the original seat. So. And just like that, there's the fenders off. All right, folks, first thing I'm going to be doing to start on this Kubota is just take this exhaust off of here to get it out of my way so I can get to the bolts for the hood there. This might be kind of a boring part of the video here, but I'm going to start unhooking these wires. We'll kind of document it here on video, that way in case I need to remember where something goes that I'm taking loose here. So, I guess you guys can watch this part if you want. If you don't want to, I guess you can skip through it. But we'll get this all unhooked here and try to get this motor up out of here. Well, folks, we got the coolant draining in the Kubota, so now we wait. Got a couple more hoses to take loose. Got the fluid drained in the radiator here, so we'll go ahead and take these radiator hoses off of here. We'll have to probably just wait to get that hose off after I get the motor out, so I think the only thing I have left, I believe, well, I got this throttle cable right here. This throttle cable is junk. There's 4 bolts holding the motor in, and I believe there's drive shaft. I got the fuel line, and that should be about it. Well, folks, today is day 3, and
I think we got this motor here ready to pull. I went ahead and loosened up the bolts on the back of the motor where the drive shaft bolts up, and I took the 2 fuel lines loose, and I think we're ready to come up out of there. So we'll go ahead and give it a try here and see if there's anything else I didn't get. Alright guys, here we go. Maybe not quite. I think I got it now. Just had to wiggle it out of there a certain way. Now if I can find somewhere to grab onto it. Still got the alternator wire here to get. Missed that. And there's that. Some fluid in here still yet. Let's see if we can get this drained out. Tell you what, I think this diesel motor seems to be a little bit heavier than that gas motor. That gas is twin cylinder 18 horse, and this is a 2-cylinder diesel. But I would say, I don't know. Alright. Yep, I'd say this is definitely heavier. Just get it setting in here somehow for now. We're gonna have to do a lot of modifications. Leave it there. There it is. Swapped. Kubota diesel engine in the John Deere 316. Whew. Well, there's the hard part. Well, not necessarily the hard part, but we got the motors out of both of them. We got the Kubota diesel sitting in one, so that's a plus. Alright guys, it is day 4, and I had to move the motor over here to the other side of the shop because I had to have something where I could pick this engine up, get it somewhat level so I can figure out where I'm going to mount it in this tractor, because I'm going to have to cut a little bit of the bottom of the regular engine mount out of there, so that way I can drop the oil pan down in a little bit, and then I want to have to fabricate some new engine mounting brackets. So I have this hook right here up in my garage. It's for, I suppose, hanging deer or something like that on, but we're going to use it as a little engine hoist here. I don't have a cherry picker, so this is what I've come up with. So we'll go ahead and get this motor hooked up here, get it picked up a little bit, and then we'll probably have to move this tractor around a little bit. I'd like to get the mower deck off of it just so we can get out of the way, because the mower deck's not going to be hooked up for a while anyway. It may not get hooked up at all. This is going to be mostly just a work tractor. I may use like rear attachments and maybe front attachments on it, and that's just about it really. It's just going to be kind of a toy to play around the house on and do a few odds and ends. So we'll go ahead and get this motor hooked up, go from there. Looks pretty level right there. I think next I may go ahead and just get this mower deck off of here, so that way we can kind of move it around where we want it real easy. Kind of up against my mower, my riding mower right there. So we'll get the deck off there, and then we'll see what we got. Alright folks, so I've went ahead and taken the John Deere drive shaft off the Onan engine. I'm going to go ahead and put the drive shaft back on the rear end, so that way I can kind of get an idea sort of where it needs to be, where the motor needs to be setting for when I get ready to start making my new mounts and stuff, and to cut the hole out of the bottom of the the engine mounting plate down there so I can put the oil pan down in there just a little bit because, well, the drain plug's on the bottom, but I'm not sure if the drain plug's on the bottom for the onan or not, but I think this one's going to be in a little bit different spot. There's already a hole down there, but that oil drain plug isn't going to line up, I don't think. So we'll go ahead and just stick this shaft down in here. All right, folks, I think we're going to go ahead and take this fan off here. We'll probably get rid of it because we're probably not going to be using it anyway. I think I'm going to be moving the radiator towards the front, and I may have to end up going with some kind of an electric fan or something if it starts overheating. We'll go ahead and take this off, and I think we're going to go ahead and get rid of this black piece there off the John Deere, whatever you would call that, the debris shield / battery guard. I don't know. See if the old Craftsman Impact will take this off. We'll put this up just in case we decide to reuse it, which I doubt that I will. All right, folks, I got the drive shaft off the John Deere right here. Then I got the drive shaft off the Kubota also. I think I'm going to be able to get by with using the original John Deere drive shaft, but this piece here on the end, this is the piece that bolts up to the rear of your engine, the onan engine. It's got 4 bolts, and the piece that bolts to the back of the Kubota engine, it's got 3 bolts. I was thinking about possibly maybe drilling new holes, but this little piece here they have made for it isn't quite big enough to re-drill new holes. And the piece here that centers up your drive shaft, it's also not big enough. It's just a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to do about this is right here it's got welds around the drive shaft, the yoke, whatever you want to call it here. I'm going to grind those down and clean this all up, get this piece, pull it off of here, and then this piece off the Kubota drive shaft, the Kubota engine, where it bolts up to the back of it. We're going to go ahead and grind the welds off of here, get that cleaned up, pull that piece off, and then the shaft, stub shaft, it's welded on there also. We'll just go ahead and grind the welds off that and pull that off here too. And then we'll get the John Deere shaft centered up on here. We'll weld it up. Then this piece here should bolt right back up to the Kubota engine. So that's the route I'm going to go for my drive shaft, and hopefully it works after we get this all fixed up and the drive shaft kind of slid back in there and get it where we want it. We'll figure out where we want to put our engine mounts for the Kubota engine. So that's where we're at right now. Alrighty, folks, here's our piece off the Kubota drive shaft. I got it all ground down smooth, ready to weld. I was going to make me a center mark here for my little stub shaft piece there. I got to weld back on, but it's already got a center hole in it, and there's where the old drive shaft part was, I believe, the tubing where it was welded. So this is the same size as that. I kind of put a little bevel on this, so we're going to get it centered up here best we can, and we'll put a couple tacks on there, and then maybe we might try to fit it up to the tractor there real quick, see if everything is going to work out all right, or so it seems, and then we'll go ahead and finish welding it up.
Can I stand right here?
Yep.
Or right here?
Probably. Alright, I'm done for a second, buddy. Because I'm going to look at it for a minute here. Trying to make sure I got it pretty close in the middle. I think Dad's got it pretty close. You ready? I'm gonna weld again. Hang on a minute. Here I go. You ready?
Is yours on?
That's it for now. Yep, mine was on. All right, guys, we got this thing all tacked up here. We'll go ahead and put it on the tractor there and see what it looks like. All right, folks. So it is day 5 of the John Deere Kubota engine swap, and we have the drive shaft in there. We got it all hooked up, but I'm seeing a few problems here. I got the motor kind of sitting in there about where I want it at, so, and I don't like it right now, so we're going to do a few changes here. Like for one, down there, there's the oil drain plug. It's pretty well hitting on the bottom of the old engine mounting plate. So I'd like to drop the engine another 2 inches and be able to have access to the drain plug also. And I think to make things work, to get this oil pan kind of setting down a little bit further, I like to have it setting probably below the old engine mounting plate. This is going to be pretty much level with the engine mounting plate. So I'm going to have to take it back 2 inches so I can avoid the front axle there. And then after I do that, I'm going to have to cut out a spot in the engine mounting plate so I can drop the oil pan down in there a little ways. And so it's kind of going to be, this part right here is kind of going to be sitting right over the front axle. So, but that'll give me access to my oil drain plug on the engine, and it'll help me out with a few other things like putting in the radiator and stuff like that too. So to do that, I'm going to have to shorten the drive shaft up a little bit, and these little side panels here, I'm going to have to cut them right there about where the side covers bolt on. So I'm probably going to go ahead and use the same place to mount the battery here, and we'll just shorten up the battery box and drill a new hole and probably go with a little bit smaller battery. And after we get the drive shaft and everything shortened, cut that and drop it down in there. We'll check everything, make sure it fits, and then we'll start on some new engine mounting brackets, and then hopefully we get that figured out real quick and we'll go from there. One other thing I forgot to mention is to drop the engine down in there, I'm going to have to reroute the front hydraulic lines because they run right underneath the old engine mounting plate, right where I'm going to have to be making the hole to drop the oil pan down for the Kubota. So we'll get those moved out of the way, then we'll start cutting. All right, folks, so I got the drive shaft shortened up. I just cut 2 inches out of the shaft right here and went ahead and welded it up, and then I welded up the little Kubota crank mounting plate, whatever you'd want to call that, drive shaft mounting plate, I don't know, but got it welded to the John Deere drive shaft. And I also got my hole cut for the Kubota engine. Hopefully this is going to work for me. We're getting ready. We're going to go ahead and get ready to try to put it in there and see what it looks like. And then we'll probably start fabricating up some engine mounts. Well, folks, after a lot of work pulling the motor in and out, in and out, in and out, doing some cutting and some welding, I finally have the motor standing there by itself. We have it mounted in there. It's just tacked right now. But like I said, to get this motor in here, I ended up shortening the drive shaft 2 inches. And I took the adapter plate off the Kubota drive shaft and welded to the John Deere. That way I could bolt it back to the back of the Kubota engine. And then up here by the battery box there, I cut those little green tabs off that stuck out here, bolted to the battery box. We'll cut those off. We'll shorten our battery box up probably. And then down here, the frame rails on the John Deere,
I cut those. I cut them straight back, then up right there. Didn't take a whole lot out of them, but I took a little bit. And then the old engine mounting plate, if you guys can see down under there, I notched that out. Here, we'll crawl under here. We notched out the old engine mounting plate so our oil pan could stick down through there a little bit, give us a little more clearance up top, and we could also get to our drain plug here for our oil. As far as the engine mounting brackets or design that I decided to come up with, I just kind of copied the Kubota. It had some frame rails running like this here, and had them engine mounts right there, them rubber engine mounts. Those are off the Kubota. I just reused those. I'll probably be reusing a lot of parts off the Kubota. So I just got that tacked there and there. Then I got it tacked up front here for now. And then on the other side here, did basically the same thing. Notched the John Deere frame a little bit. Then we tacked the new engine mounting frame rail thing there. We'll go ahead and weld that up sometime. Then up front here, we got it tacked right here where my clamp is. Kind of ugly right there, but that's just to kind of hold it in place for now. I'm going to end up bracing this up some more. I think I got some square like 1x1 tubing. I think I'm going to cut a piece and weld it to the top of this angle here and run it down to the existing engine mounting plate on the John Deere and weld it in there. And that'll help brace that up. We might weld a few of them down through there, not sure yet. So far, this is day 5. We got the motor sitting in there by itself. Got it where I want it, how I like it. I think we'll go with the battery back there where it was. And then the radiator will probably be up front here. We'll probably have to switch over to electric fans. So there's progress so far on day 5. Alrighty folks, so this is day 6 on the Kubota engine swap into the John Deere 316. Today I went ahead and finished welding up my little engine mounts here I got going on. But I think we'll go ahead and wrap this video up right here because it's getting kind of long. And I can't really upload a real long video. But if you guys like this video, give me a big thumbs up there. And I'd like for you guys to leave a comment down below. Maybe giving me some kind of ideas of what's just different things you guys think I could do, like maybe how to mount radiator and things like that, and possibly hooking up wiring and other things, just different ideas you guys might have, maybe what you thought I should have done different with the new engine mounting brackets there. Maybe if you guys have different ideas or something, but I just went this route because it was the easiest and the cheapest way that I could think of, because the little angle that I bought wasn't all that much, and I just used the rubber engine mounts that was originally on the other Kubota tractor I got over there, the little riding mower. So they bolted right up. All I had to do was cut that angle to length, drill some holes, and bolt everything together. So other than that, we'll give you guys a close-up. Here's kind of a close-up of the engine mounting brackets I got. They're just pieces of angle, and I got this 1" by 1" square tubing. I just cut little pieces and put from the existing engine mounting plate up to the angle there, and I welded it all together. Same with right here, welded that, put one in the back, one in the front. Did this side here the same way. Also welded it back here to the frame. Here's the front. Don't pay attention to my bubblegum welds there, but drive shaft, shortened it, welded it all back together, put the Kubota adapter plate there on the John Deere drive shaft. We had to cut a hole in the bottom of our existing engine mounting plate so I could drop the oil pan down in there to the Kubota engine and access my drain plug a little easier. I had to get the hydraulic lines running to the front of the 316. I had to get them out of the way. we'll be putting those back later on. We may go with rubber hose though, because we might go with a steel line again, but we'll just have to see. It may just be rubber though. Not a real big deal. But this is where we're at so far on the John Deere 316 swap. If you guys like the video, give me a big thumbs up. Like I said, leave a comment down below of different ideas you guys may have. If you guys made it this far in the video, I'd like to thank you for watching. Come back and join me on the next one.